I'm going to do a quick walkthrough on polynomial division. So if you want to follow along, I'm going to be doing examples from the book. So go ahead and open that if you'd like, and I will kind of just walk through it. So yeah, they start with the box method, right? We're somewhat used to that. Actually, I'm going to make these boxes big. Been doing this for quite a while now, where we have a monomial up here and a monomial here, and we're multiplying them together. So now with division, we're going to start with a polynomial in the box and work our way out. So they give us 3x squared plus 11x plus 10. So we are trying to divide this. Let's say we divide it by x plus 2. So we're trying to divide this by x plus 2. So we're already given this side. We just have to figure out this side, knowing this already. So we know x, we're trying to decide what we have to multiply 2x in order to get 3x squared. So because this is an x squared, we know that we do need to multiply another x. And 1 times 3, or 3 divided by 1 is 3, so we need a 3x over here. Okay, so since this is 3x, now I can figure out what's in this box. So 3x times 2 is just going to be 6x, right? And we want to get to 11x, so I know 6x, or 11x minus 6x is going to give me 5x. So this will be 5x here, which means that this is going to be 5, because 5 times x gives me 5x, and 5 times 2 will give me 10. So I know this is going to be, so 3x squared plus 11x plus 10 divided by x plus 2 is going to equal 3x plus 5, which I got right over here. So we could also do that just in terms of long division. So if I have x plus 2 division 3x squared plus 11x plus 10. Okay, so we're going to just take this at a segment at a time. So I have two terms here, right? Two terms, x and 2. So I'm just going to look at the first two terms here. So I want, above all else, I want my first term to cancel. So if I'm just looking at the first terms, how many times can x go into 3x squared? Just think about it for a sec. Now that you've thought about it, 3x times x is going to give us 3x squared. So 3x squared, and then we're going to have plus 6x, because 3x times 2, so we did 3x times x gave us 3x squared, and then we're going to do 3x times 2, which is going to give us 6x. Now we're subtracting this whole thing, right? So this is going to be 0, and this is, you'll read this as 11x minus 6x, so that's going to be positive 5x. Now I bring down the 10 just like in long division. So now I have 5x plus 10. And I only have two terms here and two terms here, right? So let's look at the first term. So what do I have to multiply 2x to get me 5x? We'll just multiply it by 5. So 5 times x gives me 5x. And 5 times 2 will give me 10. And I'll subtract this again. This goes to 0. Read this as 10 minus 10, which is also going to be 0. So 3x plus 5 is my answer. So that's the way to do it the box method way, and then using long division. And we'll do one more example. We'll look at example 1. And I'm just going to do the long division way. I think that one's a little more tricky. So I want to focus on it a little bit. So we have, for example 1, we have x cubed plus 2x squared minus 8x plus 35. And we are dividing it by, that's kind of a tight squeeze, but x plus 5. I'm actually going to move it down here so I have a little more room. Okay, so again, I only have 2 terms right here. So I'm just going to look at my first 2 terms. Before I do that, I'm going to look at my first term of each. So I'm going to cover this up. I'm going to cover this up. So what times x will give me x cubed? You could also think of it as x cubed divided by x will give me what? We know from our exponential rules that this is going to equal x 3 minus 1, which is going to equal x squared. So I know x squared is going to go here. So x squared times x will give me x cubed. X squared times 5 will give me 5x squared. Now I'm going to subtract this whole thing. So x cubed minus x cubed is going to give me 0. And now I'm going to do 2x squared minus 5x squared, which is going to give me negative 3x squared. Now I'm going to bring down this 8x, and now we're looking at the first term again. So we can think of it as 3x squared divided by x. We can take the 3 out, right? 3x squared divided by x, which equals 3x squared, or x to the 2 minus 1, which equals 3x. Ran out of room a little bit there. But notice that this is a negative. So I have to multiply by a negative 3x to get from x to negative x squared. So I did negative 3x times x gives me negative 3x squared. Now I'm going to do negative 3x times 5, which is going to give me, oh sorry, I forgot to write this down here. Which is going to give me negative 15x. 3 times 5 times x. So 3 times 5 is 15, and then times x, we just leave it like that. And again, I'm going to subtract this whole thing. Negative 3x squared minus negative 3x squared is like saying negative 3x plus 3x. So that's going to give me 0. And then I'm doing negative 8x minus negative 15x. That's like saying negative x plus 15x. So that will be 7x. So 7x, bring down the 35. I'm bringing down the 35, brought down the negative 8x last time. I'm just looking at my first term again. So 7x divided by x, we see that it is like this. X to the 1 minus 1 equals 7 times 0. Or sorry, 7 times 1. So I know 7 times x is going to give me positive 7x. And then 7 times 5 is 35. I'm again subtracting the whole thing. 7x minus 7x is 0. 35 minus 35 is also 0. So we are good. This is our final answer right there.